Want to guess how tall my ex is? 6'7". Anyway, this video isn't about him. This is about the 4 life lessons that I learned at 41, single, driving alone across the country after a breakup, and how I came to realize that these lessons are more closely linked to the characters from my comic, The Golden Troupe, than I had thought originally. Because these characters are me, or parts of me, divided up into their own fully fledged characters. So I had built up a whole life, a whole thing out in Oregon. I left North Carolina, drove across the country by myself for the first time, taking my little VW Rabbit with me and all of my stuff. And when I got there, various people asked, "What brought you out here?" And of course I just replied, "Oh, some guy," not realizing that that would also be the reason why I ended up leaving. And of course, we built a life together. We got 2 dogs. I was helping out with the house, trying to fix it up and make it nice. I joined a community of artists and did Saturday market out there, all sorts of stuff. It wasn't my idea, but on the 1st of January this year, that all ended. I ended up coming to North Carolina, helping out my family, and waited for a real answer because I asked, "Oh, are we sure we want to do this?" And I got, Finally, it turned into April, and I was like, okay, I really gotta know now. And the answer was no. That was hard because I thought I'd be giving everything up, everything with my life there. And, my dogs and everything, I raised them both from puppies, so that was really hard. Plus, the whole person I had built up this whole life with or whatever. They always say stuff like, oh, there were signs, and, in 2025, there were. My horse died, even down to my doctors just all canceled on me. They're like, "Oh, your insurance changed. You can't come here anymore." Lots of things like that just kept happening. So I was sort of knowing I was kind of on rocky ground, but I didn't want to believe that. I was hoping that, while there were some troubles, you just want it to work out. Well, fast forward to the end of April and I get back to Oregon. The initial plan is, let's fix up my car, get it all roadworthy so I can drive 3,000 miles, and then pack up and go. But my car had other issues, and if you know anything about VWs, they're always a little quirky. And given mine's like a 2008, it's built up some time to be quirky and living kind of, I guess you could say, paycheck to paycheck, and that's, a little gracious given that I don't even really get normal paychecks. I couldn't do all the work on my car that I wanted. So, of course, there were more problems, more issues, and I was delayed a week in leaving Oregon. Honestly, though, that was good. I got a chance to spend more time with the dogs. I got to spend some time with some of my friends and really just take my time with packing up all of my stuff and getting it ready to be able to try to cram into a little hatchback. Now, by this point in that second week, now that first week was hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. That was difficult. I was crying all the time and everything was difficult. By that second week, I had already had a couple of months in North Carolina to sort of adjust to the idea that this may not work out. So I did a lot of processing there. And when I found myself in Oregon, it was sort of a lot all at once. And then eventually on that second week, I was able to kind of relax. Things were more in a holding pattern with me and my ex, and it just worked out, so it wasn't so awkward. And with that time, I was able to really just sort of reminisce. Of course, you do that thing where you just see, oh, this will be the last time I get to go to Safeway, and this is the last time I'm going to be able to drive on this road, and you kind of do that a lot. But ultimately, I was a lot less sad than I thought I would be. I've just kind of processed a lot already by that point. As well, a little secret thing, I guess I can say, a little lesson that I sort of gleaned. At the beginning of the year, I sort of had this spiritual awakening, if you will, and I am not a spiritual person. It's not something I've ever called myself. And that honestly was another factor in helping me get through this, what I feel like is better than I have in the past. And maybe I'll get more into that later in another video. So the kind of lesson I realized in this, because I had a lot of time to think, is I noticed that my eagle, Morgh, from my story, he's really good at analyzing a situation, figuring out really quickly what there is to do, and then he just does it. Like, he's like, oh, this is the path, I'm doing this now. They don't talk in my comic, it's just that's how he is. And I realized, you know, that's kind of me right now. I'm assessing what's going on. I might feel something, but I let myself feel it. I don't just sit there and bottle it up and don't do anything. I feel my feels and then move on, because I got shit to do. And of course, my car got fixed. It was time to say goodbye, and I packed up all my stuff and hit the road. Much like Morgh, I pretty much let my serious side get me through it. He lets his serious side kind of guide his path and lets him do what he needs to do. And that was me. So by the time I got to Wyoming, I had already been through Oregon, Idaho, and Utah by that point. I had gotten a hotel up in Idaho, and I stayed with some friends in Utah. And it was really nice. Honestly, that drive from Salt Lake to Cheyenne is one of my favorite drives that I really have done. Now, I've only done this whole trip once before this current time I'm telling you about right now, but I love the mountains. I love looking at them as I'm driving, and I really can't get over it. As you'll see in these clips, like, yeah, I love the mountains. Now, when I did get into Cheyenne, it was cold and snowing. It had just snowed, and it was icy. And this is May we're talking about. As both a, I guess, somewhat Pacific Northwest girly and mostly an East Coast girly, that was a little different for me to deal with. It was fine. No problems driving. I made sure the weather was pretty good throughout this whole trip. And because I had done this trip before, I knew the path. I knew how to get from one place to another. I had actually been to these hotels before. They stayed at the same ones that I stayed at last time, just so I could have like something familiar to keep going back to. The part of the trip that I was the most scared of, kind of worried about, was of course saying goodbye to everybody at the house in Oregon. And then more practically speaking, there's a little path in Eastern Oregon where you go through the mountains. Now, I remember this being a lot longer the first time around, but it turned out to only be 30 minutes where I had absolutely zero cell reception, and there's not a lot of traffic that goes through there at all. So I just imagined if there's anything wrong with my car, please just don't let it happen there, because there's no way I could get help unless somebody driving by was kind enough to help me out. But by this point, I was already in Cheyenne, so no longer a worry. Like jamming out on all my tunes, which, by the way, little pro tip, if you are somebody who is not super like, oh, I need to listen to all the sad music because I'm sad, and you're just like, I want something that's going to pump me up, then you need to listen to Vo Williams, okay? It's my all-time favorite artist. He does this genre called epic hip-hop. I love it, and I blast all of his songs at full volume whenever I can in any car that I'm driving, pretty much all the time. So this part of the journey really reminds me of another character of mine, a horse named Aspa. And if you know anything about Aspa, then you know that she doesn't let anyone ruin her day. And if you try, she'll repay you tenfold whatever kind of damage you were going to instill upon her. She will rain upon you with fury and vengeance. Now, I wasn't like fury and vengeancing anything on my trip at all. And honestly, there's no bad blood between me and my ex, so it's all good. But I just like held on to that like confidence, you know. She's just so sure of herself. She knows exactly what she wants, how she wants to get it, and the only problem for her is how long she's gonna have to wait till she gets there. You'd never guess that she was uncertain just by looking at her. She does exactly what she wants when she wants to. She feels her feelings. She just marches right through them. That's kind of like the mentality I was holding on to at that point in my journey. So by this point, I was leaving Wyoming and battling a full-on head cold. I have never had this happen before, but my sinuses were draining into my ears and making it so I couldn't hear. It made for a very weird day of driving. I didn't even listen to music. I mean, I kind of wasn't listening to music at this point anyway. I was just like thinking and looking at stuff. Yeah, it was very odd. I had a very interesting experience. I was beelining through Nebraska, and it wasn't as bad as I remembered before. Then again, it wasn't 105 degrees inside my car with both of my windows down, so it was much better. But I got to Kansas City and I decided I'm going to wait a day here. I've already been driving for 4 days straight. I'm very tired and I just need to kind of get over this cold thing. Plus I didn't want to like bring a cold home to my family. So I was trying to get better and just rest. I was able to relax and unwind and just sort of laugh about how ridiculous this whole situation was. I watched a whole bunch of Heartland. I took so much breakfast, free breakfast, mind you, up to my room, and I had enough for the entire day. I was going to be staying there, and I didn't have to leave my room even once, which I just didn't even want to. I just like chilled out, relaxed the whole day, and I was just so happy that my trip was more than half over. Rioxia here, she is the heart of the group. She loves everyone and she wants everyone to be her friend, actually. And I had a point in my life when I could definitely relate to that. That's all I wanted, was everyone to be friends with me. But of course, I have learned and will always continue to learn a little discernment in that area. And I have, understood over time that people can't always be everything you need. Little lesson within a lesson is to curate your feeds, your home feeds, and whatever thing that you like to look at the most. If you want a space where you can just sort of be happy and you look at all these cute things and cute animals, you're allowed to have that. Just so you know, like that's allowed. You can do that. So if there's anything on this particular account that you've curated to be, just your fun place, guess what? If there's anything that pops up that isn't that, get rid of it. Just let it go. Just say, I don't like this. And that's okay. It's allowed. You can do that. Honestly, this will protect your peace probably more than you even realize. And of course, that kind of rolls back into what I was just saying, which that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to protect your own peace. You have to protect your own self. And despite that, Rioxia, she teaches me that, doesn't mean just because you have to do things and not be able to rely on as many people as you maybe like, doesn't mean that you can't still be kind and that you still can't be considerate and you still can't laugh with people along the whole entire way. And that leads us to being done. I did it. I drove across the entire country by myself with just me and my little car named Noodles. I drove from Missouri to Kentucky to finally North Carolina. Every single place I went to and spent some time at, I really wanted to stay longer. But no place made me feel like that more than Lexington, Kentucky, the horse capital of, honestly, maybe the world, but at least the United States. And the inner horse girl in me was screaming. I saw Man of War, Boulevard or something. I was like, oh my God. I felt pretty accomplished and proud of my achievement. a lot like Key. And much like Key, maybe I didn't choose this path for myself, but now that I'm in it, I might as well make the most of it, right? I know I loved seeing all these different parts of the country, and especially the familiarity I had with being able to drive in North Carolina, even down to like the way people in North Carolina drive is not like anywhere else that I've experienced. And I've driven in New York City and obviously across the whole country. So yeah, it's like a flock of birds the way North Carolinians drive. I don't know. I'm used to it. It's where I learned to drive. So it was nice to experience that and not exactly feel like home, but this is my boomerang state. I keep ending up here. I don't choose it, but it just keeps happening. I was able to kind of come up with a plan for myself along this way. I realized, you know what? I really am a nomad. I tried for 4 years to settle down, and I was okay with that idea, but obviously the universe had other plans for me, so I guess I just need to accept that I'm a nomad. And knowing that about myself, I can kind of relate to my own character, Key, who knows that he is very pretty, and he knows that about himself, and he'd like for you to actually know that about him as well. And while I may not copy that part of his personality exactly, he does know who he is, and he is proud of that fact, and he's proud of his accomplishments. He pays attention to those around him, but he doesn't lose himself in the process. He helps out where he can, but he continues to just know what he wants and what he wants to achieve. I definitely try to take the best part of those traits with me every day. I almost forgot the little tip I was going to add for Key. There's a lot of articles and blog posts and social media posts about trying to have self-confidence and developing it. But I noticed a distinct lack of any real or meaningful tips about like once you get it, like then what? You try to get the self-confidence and then you do. And I just want to put it out there that developing self-confidence, while something that can be ongoing, it doesn't have to actually take a lifetime for you to achieve that. Because here's the secret that absolutely no one else will tell you. Once you get the self-confidence, your problems don't go away. They're still there. Now, you don't have that extra baggage and problem of like holding on to this like deep emotional burden of hating yourself. That part's good. But you still have like other problems you have to deal with. Like forever keeping this like, I must eventually learn to love myself thing on your to-do list for all time really prevents you from being able to like learn about and care and understand other people. Because as I've said when I was younger, you're like full up to here with yourself. Like it's all you think about. It's all it's all you do is think about yourself, and you're full up to here with it. So it only leaves like this much of yourself to be able to care about others in a way that, allows you to care about others. But the sooner you get past that, the sooner you can, do that. Worry about other people. No, this has nothing to do with my breakup at all. Next topic. Honestly, I thought maybe I would be more sad in all of this. I thought I would still be like in the depths of despair. It's only been a little over a month since like the official breakup happened. And after spending 4 years of my life with someone, I just thought I would be like still more crushed about it. Have you ever like made a big realization without even trying to? Mine was, I'm not desperate anymore. I don't feel that like internal desperation I had around the idea of finding a partner or even being friends with people. It's just not there anymore, and I'm okay with that. In fact, it's kind of what my therapist was trying to tell me. It kind of sounded like he was dismissing my feelings when I said that I was frustrated and annoyed that I didn't have a lot of people to be able to like open up to and talk to, because they just seemed, again, so full of themselves up to here that they had no room for me. And he always kind of made it sound like, well, you need to be able to do that for yourself. And I was a little resentful of that advice, but I get it now. I've come to realize that what I really needed from people was not necessarily connection, though that's always nice. I really wanted people to like emotionally regulate me, like I could do for them. And sometimes I did without realizing. But I was trying to help. But yeah, that's really what it boils down to, I think, for myself. Now, I know how to emotionally regulate myself. I do all the time. I've had to do it my whole life. But I resented the fact that no one would be like able to give me a full house moment where, they'd come in and see that I was sad and explain my feelings to me and why I felt that way, and told me, not trying to solve it, but just sort of like told me, oh, it's all gonna be okay, it's better, and give me a big old hug, Yeah, that never happened. And you can't really ask for that from people, because if you did, then whenever they did it, you'd ask yourself, is this because you want to do this, or you feel like you should do this, or does it feel like you have to do this and now it's an obligation for you to make me feel better? Like, that doesn't feel good. And now, in knowing that I can and do this for myself, it's not something I have to do because no one else will. It's I get to, and I can make myself feel better, and I don't need anyone else when it's like 2:00 in the morning, or just a time and place where no one else is there for me. Like, I can still be there for myself, and that's cool. Not having to depend on someone for that is kind of a big breakthrough for me. And not wanting to depend on someone for that is a big deal. So if I find someone who wants to do that for me, who wants to be that like friend or partner for me, where they just intuitively can help me out with that, I think I can actually appreciate that more now. It's not going to be something of an expectation I have from them, and they're not living up to their expectation that I have of them, and how dare, it doesn't turn into that. It's just genuine gratitude for that from someone, whoever would be willing to do that for me. Because I guess in the past, that's like tied into that desperation I had brought up earlier. Like, maybe people sensed that I needed that, or desperately wanted someone to do that for me, and it kind of turned, it was a ick, it sort of made people like not want to do that for me very specifically. And of course that is that cycle of just going back and forth with that. But it kind of taught me, like, it's better to not expect that from people, because it's a lot to ask. Going through this has kind of cured me from that absolute desperation that I had, and I feel like that's a pretty good thing. And now I feel fine, and not like the fine that people say when they really don't feel fine, but actually okay. And not just okay, but like, I'm okay with whatever happens. I'm okay if I find somebody. I'm okay if I don't. I think I'm even okay if it doesn't work out again. Because moving forward, there's just so much less riding on the whole experience of the relationship in whatever kind of form that takes. I can really sit in the next relationship in like joy and gratitude, and just accepting what is exactly right in front of me without more expectation, and just go based on that and have a judgment and assessment on that, and not some other kind of like idea of how it should be. Did a less than ideal situation ever actually make you happier in the end? I think for this was my healthiest breakup to date. I allowed myself to feel my feelings, to assess the situation, decide what I needed to do, and then just I did it. I was able to find joy and laughter along the way, have a good experience, and otherwise a less than ideal situation. But then, at the end of the day, I did what I set out to do, drove across the whole entire country, and I'm left feeling really accomplished and ready to start the next chapter of my life. That wraps it up from me. If you want to see or hear more about my characters, my story, insights, I have more on the Slipstream, and you can check it out in the bio or description. Just remember, keep fucking going. You got this.